Right, welcome everybody to another week of perSPECtive, where we talk to interesting people about interesting board games. Happy Monday to you if you're listening to this on the day we drop it, which is Monday. Happy Wednesday to us. Happy Hump Day. I hope your weeks are going well. With us this week, we have, as always, Ryan Learis.
I'm not doing the starting this time.
He's not, but he's waving still anyway. So if you're not watching this on YouTube, he just waved at you to say hello.
That's fine.
We also have Kirby joining us, who has been playing games with us now as part of her new core group. And if you saw our video on Heroes and Villains, that was her premiere video there. So welcome, Kirby, to the gang.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And one of our favorite people is back again, Kelly, Geek Sheep Gamer. Welcome back. Raise the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, before we get started, we don't have to do crazy introductions this time because we already know Kelly, our guest, and Kirby. I'm sure we're going to do another video with you in the future. We can do more introduction with you on another game that we'll have you pick out for a review.
Yay.
Yeah.
I've started to get her she started a collection of board games now because of me. Mm-hmm.
Have you?
Yeah.
I have.
What's
Well, it's gonna hurt.
It's a real problem, and we're just getting started.
What have you added to your collection so far?
Ginkgopolis, Renature, what else? Azul.
The third one. I forgot what that one's called.
You need
Summer
all
Pavilion?
of them.
I completely agree. But we're just getting started now.
Summer Pavilion is the best, though, out of the three of them.
That's good to hear.
That's the one she got, yeah.
I need to play the other two, so I've only ever played the first one.
So Glass of Sintra is my favorite. Summer Pavilion is Justin's favorite.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's good to know. I guess everyone likes. I think all three of them appeal to certain people. Just like Feld has so many games, and every Feld game is someone's favorite Feld. I feel like all three Azules are someone's favorite Azul.
I think that's fair.
Probably. I mean, it's like the core of the game is like the same, but each of them are quite different. That you can easily have, like, you can easily say, like, no, I like this one way more than the other ones, which is really interesting.
Yeah, all three of them share the same tile draft mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But placing tiles is completely different in all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they change it up just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glass of Sintra, really. I just like moving the little Glazier guy.
Well, speaking of new games, Kelly, have you had any new acquisitions in your collection lately? I feel like that's a yes. You're probably getting something every day at this point.
Yeah. You guys saw my board post of Skate Plan.
Mm-hmm.
That one just touched down Lorenzo because it was like $25 on Amazon. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I feel like we got an expansion, but I don't remember what.
So,
But it fit in a box. It fit in the box. It's so important to me that they fit in their box.
I'm with you on that.
But no, I don't remember.
Is it bad that you get to a point where you're like, I don't even remember the recent ones I've just gotten? Is that a problem?
We usually are really good about our shelf of shame, but I feel like our shelf of shame is like taller than me now, and I'm 5'7".
That's okay.
My shelf of shame is like 3 of me tall, if not more.
But also like deep, so actually it's 6 of you.
Yeah.
That's too many Orions. Sounds like
No, I think those are the two newest as of late.
Mm-hmm.
But we got our On Mars big box.
Ooh. Wait.
Ooh. On Mars. big
On
box.
Mars.
I'm sorry. Terraforming Mars.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, it's already a big box. What?
Yeah, no, I will apologize. Like, I am just totally stuck in a Lacerda mindset. I am on high for those games as of late. Like, Vinyos is literally sitting next to me.
You don't got to apologize for that because, much like you, I've been on a specific game binge as well. Not just
Yeah.
I've only been wanting to play Arkham Horror. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I usually for for games, when I get into a trip, it's either Lacerda or it's Stegmeyer.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I just can go through like viticulture is probably like my favorite of those.
I'm sensing a theme here. Someone
Yeah.
likes to get drunk.
Whoa.
Only socially.
No denial.
Only when it's socially.
What?
No,
Viticulture, vinos?
I've actually been pretty good. I've got to get all the weight off for my second baby, so I haven't been drinking in like 2 weeks.
I'll drink for you.
Oh, good.
Ryan, what have you added to your collection lately?
We had Maharaja come in. That was a Kickstarter. We played it. Yesterday, yeah. Some mixed opinions throughout our group. Keegan just did not care for it. I thought it was fun. Max enjoyed himself.
I always trust Keegan's points of view on things because I feel like him and I align. Don't give me that face. I feel like he and I align on Taste of Games a lot.
I can see that. I feel like there's a few games you and I disagree on, though, Kelly. Mainly with Terraforming Mars and Scythe. I'm not with you on those two, but
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
yeah.
Terraforming Mars is just, it was one of the first like heavy games we had in our collection, so I think it truly just holds just that place in my heart, and it's not going away. Like Catan's not going away.
Yeah. That makes sense. Are you gonna get the big 3D versions coming out later this year?
Oh, I don't know, but we want to make the yard
Catan?
version of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the big yard version? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
The what? Oh, wait.
There's a yard version.
Oh my god.
I'll send it to you.
You have to buy a real sheet for it and everything.
Yeah. But Ryan, we're going down a rabbit hole. Continue with what you got.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maharaja, and then what did we play before that? What was the Tuesday before that?
Cosmic Frog.
Oh yeah,
Frog.
but that wasn't me. I didn't get that. That was Max. I haven't.
You haven't gotten really a lot of new games lately because you're moving.
Yeah, because I'm moving here
Just
shortly.
makes
I've just.
me buy them.
That's right. We've been to the comic books at the board game store several times now, and I'm just like, I just want to go, and then I just convince Kirby to buy some games because I can't buy any right now.
I love
Bad
it.
influence.
You're living through Kirby. I love it.
I know. Well, I mean,
It's okay. You live through Kirby, and Keegan will drink for me.
There we go.
yeah.
This is a perfect balance going on right here. I think we're all just bad influences in each other, though, because the last time we went to one of the game stores, you, me, and Max, Ryan, when Aiden went with us, and I was trying to buy a couple Arkham packs. Max was like, how many of those do they have that you're missing? I'm like 7 or 9 of them. He was like, just buy them all. I was like, no.
You- I
I'm
know.
buying them all right now, Max. Just do it, why not?
That was me. I was like, you're like, okay, I got these.
You had both.
I was like, just get them both. It's okay. Just get them. Just buy them now.
Honestly, I would have. That's just obnoxious to keep going back for packs.
Kelly,
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, right? Like, just do it.
Yeah, you're
Just
there,
do
like,
it.
just rip the Band-Aid off. It's fine.
Kelly, the Arkham thing has been so bad because have you played the Arkham LCG before?
I have not.
It's very good, but the old thing with it was that you would buy a core box and it comes with the first 2 parts of the story, and then you have to buy individual Mythos packs that are the next part of the story, but they come out once a month for 6 months, and once their cycle is printed, they don't reprint it for almost a year. So there's there's one set that is impossible to get right now that I'm trading a Lacerda off just to have the full setup. And it's the only reason I'm trading the game
Feel
off.
sad.
I know, but I just want it so bad. I guess transitioning into Arkham now kind of goes with what our topic for the week is, which is deck builders,
Woohoo!
which we're all fans of. Ryan,
I don't know that
First
Kirby's
off-
played any.
I was about to ask if Kirby's played a deck builder yet with you.
Not
me,
with
no.
you.
Oh man, your wallet's gonna hurt now, Kirby, because we're gonna give you some
Uh-oh.
good ones.
Uh-oh.
That's a good place to start then, since Kirby probably hasn't played a deck builder yet. I guess a good place to start for our conversation then is what would you consider a good starting place deck builder?
Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Okay. That's a good small one. I would say, come back to me. I'm
Okay.
spacing on the name right now, and I can't.
Kelly, you want to give us a quick overview of how Taverns works?
Taverns was my first deck builder, and I didn't even know it was a deck builder. Someone was just all over me, like, you should pick up this game, and I'm like, fine, get away from me. So I hunted it, and not knowing anything about this game, which is totally abnormal for me. I don't like to just buy a game to buy a game. I usually research it and make sure it's one that's not going to just sit there, because I have 2 of them and they drive me nuts, but I just won't let go of them because they're collector's editions, but I'm not going to go down that wormhole.
We already had
So
that episode.
I went up, yeah, another episode. I went out on a whim and I found this game like on Black Friday at my local board game store, and I was like, dude, it was like $40. I was like, how can I pass this up? And that was our first dice drafter too, 2-in-1.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Before that, I didn't know what either of those mechanics were. I was so heavy set that I needed to always play worker placement that I was totally blinded by. So yeah.
How long ago was that then? I mean, Tiefenthal.
That was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Taverns is pretty much, you start with a deck of patrons. Obviously, by the name, you're building your own pub. You have these tile pieces that are all clipped together that form your pub, like bar stools where people can sit, your own bar that has your little barman, a wench that gets you more dice, essentially, a washerwoman that lets you change the value of your die, your brewmaster, and then who's on the bottom?
The table, the patrons that sit at the top
Yeah,
at
those
your
are the
bar.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something else at the bottom. I can't remember what it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like the person
the
that brings in the
safe?
brew, like it's like the
Anyway.
It's something, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
It's a thing,
essentially,
yeah.
you just have all these like components clipped together, and you're able to flip them over by buying them,
Okay.
and they just get you essentially more abilities. So you start with this deck of cards that are like your patrons, and you flip them over, and you keep adding to that deck throughout the game. The people in that deck will get you like more beer to purchase more patrons, or get you more money to purchase more assistance. But it was like my first experience with that, and I was like, this is so infuriating, but it's so awesome. Because I actually like luck-based games. There's a lot of people in my gaming core group that hate them. I like a touch of luck because I feel like it keeps the game not the same all the time. Like, yes, I can go into that game with a strategy, and it's a very good strategy, but I could be thrown a wrench or a curveball that I wasn't expecting, and then I actually have to play the game to get around it, if you know what I mean, right? Like, so I'm not so set on this strategy that I have in my head, but I could be thrown this curveball and still enjoy the game.
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
a good
of
one.
fun.
And it comes with 5 modules, and if you're playing Taverns without any of the modules, you're playing it wrong.
it's pretty basic. It's pretty just bland without them.
Taverns is also like a strange little guy when it comes to deck builders too, because like I know most people like Dominion becomes like one of their first deck builders, and that one's like very much like you draw your hand, you play everything you can in your hand, then whatever you don't play gets pitched and you draw a new one. In Taverns, when you deck build it, your new card doesn't go to the discard pile like every other deck builder, it goes on top of your deck, right?
Yeah, it goes on top of your draw pile.
Yeah, so you know what's going to come up next. So you can start like actually planning your turn ahead instead of having to plan a whole new deck ahead when you don't get your new card until you reshuffle.
Dude, that
So-
sounds intriguing. Like, that sounds like it's thoughtful and intentional, and that sounds like it'd be fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun, and it's so many people we bought, and of course me. I upgraded that game to its fullest. There's awesome like little 3D pieces that come with it, like little brew cups and schnapps, and it's
Yep. Did you get 3D tables and like?
See, you just said you talk about making a yard version of Catan, just make a yard version of Taverns, just sit a bar in the backyard.
that'd be great. Great. But yeah, so that's probably my first that was my first deck builder, and we've only gone on from there. I'm trying to think. You guys go next, because I'm trying to think of what the heaviest deck builder is we have now.
Oh, I know. I was about to say, I know one that you post about. You posted about a few times, Kelly. That I know is like a weird hybrid deck builder worker placement game that you really like.
Dude,
Has cows in it.
Has cows?
The suspense, like.
I know.
Great Western Trail.
but I post about it a lot.
You used to post about it quite a bit. You and your husband used to play Great Western Trail quite a bit, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm really upset at that game with the expansion. I wanted more cows.
Yeah,
More cows, please.
cows.
Dude,
Just more train stuff, less
I
cows.
don't know though, but that's not.
It's weird.
Not,
It's like a hybrid game.
It's a weird deck, but you're right. It's a deck builder.
It's like as much a deck builder as Arnak is a deck builder. Like for you, Ryan, because Arnak's more like a worker placement game than anything.
It's like it's a hybrid of worker
but you
placement
can't-
deck building, and I don't like that. I don't like that it's not either, like, I don't get enough of either one of them that satisfies me in that game.
Yeah, Lost Runes, but you can't. I classify it as a deck builder because you can't take your worker placement actions without your cards. Really,
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
you
more.
really can't do anything in that game. You can't get resources without them. You can't defeat the guardians without them. You can't dig without them. You can't move without them. It's a deck builder.
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, Ryan, you haven't played Great Western Trail yet, so I'm wondering if you're going to like it or not, because if it's going to be the same type of, like, not enough of either vibe
Mm-hmm.
that Arnak did.
Yeah.
But Great Western Trail, I feel there's a bit more of, like, planning worker
it's so
placement.
good.
It's really
You
good.
need all the promos. If you're gonna get any promos from that game, please get the poker one.
The poker.
And
one.
also, don't buy the game right now. Wait until the reprint comes out, where it doesn't have a horrible looking cover for the box.
Oh come on, it's not that bad.
It's three depressed old guys. I don't want to play that.
It does look pretty bad.
I know. Justin asked me if Kirby. Justin's my husband. He asked me if we're getting the reprint, and I hate getting reprints. I hate. But I don't know. I'm not saying no to that.
Just get the other two, since they're theming it with Australia. No, New Zealand is one of them, and then South America, I think, is the other one.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So just get those two. Don't get the reprint of the base one.
Yeah, I might just because then we'll have the trilogy.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Ryan, did you think of the game you
Yeah.
were trying to think about?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
what is it?
And I guess this game, I mean, it's because of this game that I feel like I have problems with Lost Runes, and it's Clank. Clank, I feel like it just, to me, that's deck building, because there's like the whole game is evolved around that, where like Runes, you need those cards in your deck to do everything you do in that game. So essentially, Clank and the sequential game Clank in Space, you're going through the cavern, and you are trying to like go deeper and deeper into the cavern, basically trying to pick up artifacts and then get out before everyone else does. But to do that, you draw your hand of you draw from your deck your hand. You use your hand to be able to move, to fight, to buy more cards to add to your deck, which those cards that you buy just keep making your deck stronger and stronger. You can start purging some of those cards, and what I like is you go through your deck quite a few times in that game. And so like the whole strategy of trying to build it is really interesting, and like what do I want to do? Do I want to fight more? Do I want to be able to move really quickly around this dungeon, or do I want to be able to fight a bunch of guys and get those cards that are out, that are particularly the ones that are fighting monsters, to get you points, whatnot, throughout the game. I think that was one of my first big deck builders, and it gives me a really good feeling after kind of building this deck, going through it multiple times, seeing where it just ends up is a lot of fun. That's why I think like when I look at Lost Runes, it's like you put some of them in there, but you really don't go through this deck multiple times, or you put a few cards into your deck throughout the game.
I don't know. I disagree with you. I blow through my deck in Lost Runes.
I'm kind of with you, Kelly, because the one time you and I played, Ryan, because I play a lot of card games, it's a card draw is always the most powerful effect you can have in a card game, and all I would buy were the card draw cards for Arnak, so I was tearing through my deck like crazy.
Yeah.
It's one of those games too that I can see what you're saying though too, Ryan, with like Clank, because that you're making an investment for a long-term game, or like if you with Arnak, you're guaranteed to see the card that you buy at least once because it goes on top of your deck at the end of the round.
Yeah.
And there's the potential you might not see it ever again, but you know for sure you're definitely gonna get one use out of it.
I'm honestly definitely a fan of deck builders that let me put my card on top of my draw pile.
Yeah.
Versus putting them in a discard.
But I just, when I play a deck builder, I want to be able to see the cards that I buy multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, as I think about my strategy and, like, which ones are going to all start synergizing together. I guess mostly a lot of that also comes from being a Yu-Gi-Oh player, right? So you seed your deck and you want to, like, try to do stuff that all work together and, like, start... You draw and you're like, this is a fantastic combo of cards I just drew because of what I've been building up in this deck. And... Because you don't put enough cards in your deck in Lost Runes, you don't really get that fun opportunity, I guess. And
Okay, so I guess to be fair, I have played a deck builder. I have played Magic the Gathering.
I was hoping you were gonna pop up.
There you go.
Okay.
It's been a while. My brother and sister-in-law are obsessed, and so they would show up with like all these different decks. It was like, okay, we're gonna build them, we're gonna play. And it was great fun. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But since then, I haven't played another one. It really sounds like I should.
I mean,
So what is it?
Yeah.
Well, Magic the Gathering. That's the one that I've played. I guess technically, I played Pokemon as a very small child in comic book stores on Saturdays.
Oh, so you actually went and actually played. That's nice.
I played with the physical card. Again, I probably was like 9 the last time I played Pokemon, but it was a thing. It was like a whole summer, every Saturday.
Yeah, I used to play all the time. I still have my deck, but I haven't played since I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I think I only collected.
Yeah, my
you
Yu-Gi-Oh
didn't
deck
play.
I still
I didn't
have,
play.
but that one I didn't stop playing till I was like 25.
My roommates and I were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, because my best friend and I played Yu-Gi-Oh! When we were kids, and then I just graduated college, and me and 2 of my roommates
congratulations.
Not now, Ryan. You goof.
That is what it sounded like.
It sounded like
it.
When I had just graduated college, not currently, my best friend and one of our other roommates, all 3 of us were like, "Do you guys want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Again for fun?" And we went hard into Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, and we were like 23-year-olds playing it. Yeah.
Yeah, when Justin made me get rid of it, but I had a dual disc, like an ARM.
Hell yeah.
Yep, my neighbors did. They had that too. Oh
Thing
my
was
god.
awesome.
I should have taken a picture with it before you sold it.
I know, that should have.
I have one. I'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Just so you can pick on me with Justin.
I would
I'll pick on you.
I would still play Yu-Gi-Oh! If I had my deck.
I keep up with the meta just because I'm interested in hearing about it, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a fucking nightmare at this point.
I wouldn't play meta. I want to play old school.
No, I can't. I would not be able to get into it now.
The whole game is, if you don't make an unbreakable board, turn 1, you lose. That's the whole game now. It's so unfair and degenerate and expensive.
Degenerate is a good way to...
Yeah.
Oh, but I have a question, though. So, would you guys count Brass Birmingham as a deck builder?
I've never played the game, so I have no opinion here, but I'm very curious.
I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, is it? I don't know. It's like cheaters. You're not really buying cards, but you're drawing them, but you don't get to pick them. They're a blind draw.
I'm gonna BGG classifies it as
what is
hand management, not deck
that's
building.
Fair.
Yeah, it doesn't have deck building on here because I
I guess
I mean, you're not
But you
making
see
your
my
own.
conundrum.
Yeah. Because you're not really making your own personal deck, though, right? Yeah.
And I guess what we would want to say classify as deck building is
A physical deck.
a deck that you're actually drawing from potentially multiple times that you have to
I think-
reshuffle.
And a personal deck, right?
Yes, a
personal.
personal deck.
I think customization for a deck builder, I think, is more important than just drawing from the deck. Like, feeling like you're customizing it
Yes.
is
Yeah.
like the biggest part of it.
Customizing and actually drawing from a personal
Yeah.
deck would be
Yeah,
considered.
so that Great Western Trail would be a deck builder then.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, you
I was gonna say,
bring up a
there's
different game.
there's the one that we just did a first impressions on in the last week's perspective we had on Evan Hunt, who was the designer for Heroes and Villains. That's a deck builder. I mean, it starts off like you're not building the deck. It's like a Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, right? You have the deck from the very beginning. You build it. They do have preset decks, but there's a lot of opportunity to be able to mix and match and kind of create your own deck from different heroes and villains.
And that game could go so many different ways with custom decks. Like that could just be a wild ride.
Yep. What did he say? There was like 20 different decks available at the Kickstarter, where we had 6 to start with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So-
that makes it so much more exciting.
I know there is some really interesting things and each one has its own unique way of using the deck.
I'm trying to think of what my favorite deck builder is right now.
Ryan knows mine. Kirby knows mine at this point too. Yeah, it's Arkham.
Yeah, that's no surprise.
It's. I mean, I'll gush about Arkham in a minute. I don't want to talk about it again. I want to bring up one game, but so I don't forget about it. Ryan, you and I played this together once. Kelly, have you played Dale of Merchants?
No.
Dale of Merchants, I think, is another really cool deck builder because the whole point in that game is you are merchants in a dale, but you're getting the help of different animals to sell different products and set up your market stalls. And the first person to set up 8 market stalls wins. And the way you set up your market stalls is your first market stall, you have to put 1 card in it. The second one, you have to put 2 in it. But the cards have to be from the same animal class. And you have to build them in order. And so every time you play the game, there's, I think, close to 30 or over 30 different animals you can pick from if you have everything. And you pick a certain amount of animals depending on what your player count is, and that's the deck you play with. So every time you play the game, you have different animals, like combinations and stuff, and every animal has this thing that they're good at. So like pandas are good at manipulating the market, squirrels can use trash as part of your market, like to set up your merchant stalls and stuff. And that game's really cool too because you burn through your deck like crazy. And like a big thing with deck builders is like Clank, for example, is you want to deck thin. And like even like Great Western Trail, you want to deck thin so you get to your best cows as quickly as possible. And
The best cows.
Your best cow.
These are my best cows.
And Dale of Merchants is cool because the deck thinning in that game isn't just a thing you're doing. You're deck thinning and actively pushing your win condition at the same time. Because the cards you're getting rid of go in your market stall, which in turn is pushing you to win, but also making your deck thinner to get to the cards that you want.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the cards that you get, Kelly, you'll like this, they go into your hand after you buy them, not into the discard pile or on your deck. You immediately get them.
Yeah, we're just gonna, because we were talking about this before, we are just gonna drop a giant shout out to Lacerda. You need to make a deck builder.
Hey, Lacerda. Get on it.
Lacerda make a deck builder.
Please.
Slaughter make a deck builder.
Please, just please do it.
Think about Lacerda and Eagle Griffin Games. The box, a huge Eagle Griffin's
With just
box
sleeves of cards.
just sleeves of cards.
Sleeves of cards.
Yeah, they're gonna change it up. It would be just one giant vertical deck box. Like, the box would be like a foot tall this way, but only like 3 inches wide, and that's it.
That
That's
would
what I'm
be
showing
like
it.
the crowning game of my collection. I feel like right now, in my point in time, would be a Lacerda deck builder.
That'd be so cool.
Oh man.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah,
I have to be honest. I think my favorite deck builder right now is Dune Imperium.
Interesting. Max, I know Max did not particularly care. I think Max is the only one of us that have actually played it. He did he got rid of it pretty quick.
He disliked it so much, he
love
sold
that.
it after the first play before we even had a chance to play it with him.
Yeah.
It's good.
What do you like about it? What do you like about it?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are any type of Dune fan, and I will say I probably am not going to watch the new ones because they make me want to throw up.
Oh. Okay.
All right, come on. Worms with like separate worms coming out of their mouth? No.
That's fair.
No.
It
That's
sounds
like
like the sandworm from
they
Beetlejuice.
destroyed Lord of the Rings. But the beginning one.
Hobbit?
Hobbit?
Yeah, thank you.
The beginning one.
I forgot.
I love
It
it.
made perfect sense.
They destroyed it. Who the
Oh.
is Ozark the Defiler? And why are there worms? And I'm sorry. The goblin scene was probably the best part of that book. And they destroyed it.
This is our segment of Lord of the Rings talk. Lord of the Rings, the beginning talk.
Oh, maybe it's so mad. I had to own it, but it's but yeah. So Dune, I have the same feelings about Dune. I am an old school Dune fan. Justin totally got me on that bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
So he had me learn and read from the originals, right? So that game pays really good tribute to what Dune was and what Dune's supposed to be.
Okay.
It's not a flashy board. It's not, it's just not one of those game boards that you're going to pull out and be like, oh, this is amazing. You're going to geek over it if you're a Dune fan, though.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's throwing off a lot of people. We're seeing a lot of game boards that are like in your face with a lot of iconology. And I think that's just what a lot of people are looking for nowadays in a game board. But if you really break that game down to what it is meant to be, it is so perfect.
Which is interesting because Max is a huge Dune fan. He's read like all the books and he just did not care for it.
But I guess
and
to
the
that
deck,
point, is he like a new Dune fan or an old Dune fan? I
mean, I'm pretty sure he's read like all the books.
so
like-
Max and I will just have to have a discussion.
Yeah, I mean,
That would actually be a fun group conversation to have, where we each pick like a game that like we love and someone else in the group really dislikes.
Like, guys, I love that game so much. I'm printing all of the upgrades and
that's right. You
saving
showed
them.
me those. Mhm.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so
Nice.
good.
You.
I did the first player token. It's a giant sandworm, the original tripod.
Not worm, inworm.
Keegan.
But yeah, I'm putting a ton of time and energy into these. But I
They look
love it.
great.
Yeah.
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 Oh, we can talk about that later.
But true to form, to the Bene Gesserit in that deck are more powerful than anything, like they should be. So if someone's just hammering on Bene Gesserit cards, you're done. You're just give up.
Just give up.
Do you think that the game would only appeal to Dune fans, or do you think the game is good enough on its own that you don't have to know Dune to appreciate it, though?
Oh no! If you just like deck builders and you like worker mechanics, there's combat in that game. There's area control in that game. If you like any of those things, it's gonna appeal to you.
Cool. Maybe we'll have to. Well, now that our local game stores are opening back up to let people play in them, maybe we should go to Dice Dojo at some point and take it off the shelf and try it, so we don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it is probably my favorite deck builder. I really enjoy the deck. Yes, Bene Gesserits are more powerful than anything, but so you just don't be a jerk and not get any Bene Gesserit cards, or you're just going to be left in the dust. But
Yeah.
because I was not paying attention to that the first time we played, and Justin just like eating them all up, and I'm like, why are you grabbing so many Bene Gesserit cards? And then I found out
They dominate.
that they dominate. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. There's just so many different powers. There's so many different strategies. It's got all the original guilds. You know, it's got the Bennies, the Fremen, the Emperor, and the Spacing Guild.
Mhm.
So you can take, if you get stuck somewhere, you can take a worker placement space to get more of something that you need that you just can't get anywhere else, which I really appreciate games allowing you to do that.
Mhm.
Because I feel like if you get stuck in some sense, you can go try something else. And that is a great game that allows you to just try a whole bunch of different areas, and you're just not going to get stuck doing one thing. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you don't really have to. You're not really stuck into basically doing one strategy, right? Like where some games it's just like if you really need to focus on two things, or else you're just not going to get anywhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which, and don't get me wrong, you guys know, and Kirby, just so you know, I love Lost Ruins of Arnak. I love that game, but it is a little broken. You have to climb that track. What's the one?
Yeah,
on
the research stuff, like with the book
Yeah.
and the
You have to do that.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you kind of get stuck, and you're going to get lost. Victory point wise, you could
in the
you
rooms.
could pick up you
Could only
could
get
pick up
lost in
the
the
best
rooms.
cards. You could you're so funny.
Thank you.
You could pick up the best cards. You could pick up and get so many resources, but if you're not climbing that track and somebody else is, you're just going to get decimated in victory points. And it
Yeah.
it makes me a little sad because I do love that game a lot and we play it a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
that is one thing that ticks me off about that game.
I think that, and like if you're not like when Ryan and I first played too, Ryan wasn't doing any of like the discovering of new locations, but I was doing that a lot. So I'd be playing like 3 or 4 extra turns after Ryan was out for the round because I just had so many resources stockpiled because it just kept getting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's also like I think that's a cool game though too, where like it legit feels like you don't have to hardcore like one like I'm doing this one thing to win the game. You can legit just do a bit of everything and be good. Like it almost forces you to do a bit of everything, which is cool.
Yeah, that is the one thing we like about Lost Ruins. But do you agree if someone's climbing that ladder to get all the tablets at the top with points, if you're not doing that, you're just going to lose?
If you're not doing it, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you need to contribute a bit to it. I don't think you need to go all in on it though.
No.
So to still compete. I think if you don't do it at all, then yeah, you're host. But if you do it a
Yeah.
bit, then I think you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan,
Mhm.
would Clank be your favorite deck builder then right now too, or do you have something else in mind?
I mean, maybe. I mean, right now, Lawyer Up is competing pretty hard with it. Was that the
Lawyer
one that you were
Up,
going to mention?
No, it wasn't.
No,
but
okay.
that's a good one to bring up though.
Lawyer Up has been a lot of fun. Like I bought it, Keegan. It was,
you did?
Yeah, it was at Dice Dojo. There was like one copy. No, at Gaming Goat. There was one copy left, and
I'm sorry, did you say Gaming Goat?
Gaming Goat. Yep, the Gaming Goat. It's a fantastic. 'Cause they have like they kickstart a whole bunch of stuff too. So like they have like right in the front they have like 2 sections of just like all the Kickstarter stuff that's come in, and
That's cool.
it's really great. Yeah. But that one it's really interesting because you're just one person's playing prosecutor, one person's playing the defender, and you're trying to you have your deck that you have a starting deck, but then you seed the evidence and you kind of draft them between the 2 players, and then you're just like on your turn you have your hand of cards and you play them down trying to sway the witness, right? Well, swaying the witness.
The jury, right? It was the jury.
Yeah, you're trying to like win your argument against the witness to sway the jury over.
Yeah. Explain it like that. Yeah. It's really interesting because it's very much about timing on when you're playing these cards. Yeah, and I've been having a lot of fun. Wait, Kirby, did we play?
Not yet.
Not
I've
yet,
seen it.
okay.
I was there when you guys were playing. It looks fantastic.
Right.
Everything
Okay.
about it, how it kind of fluctuates. No, it looks great, but
Yeah.
I'm with it.
It's so it's so compact, and there's so many different. There's some couple different modules. There's a Salem witch trial module that's just funny. It's just it's kind of overpowered to one side, but
It is.
yeah,
Which is
but
accurate to
I
life.
guess so were the trials. Yeah.
but it was. I've had so much fun with it, and yeah, that I was like, oh, it's here. I'm buying it. I think
It's
I
a
showed
good
it. I
one.
played it with Sam, and
Yep.
Sam really liked it a lot. Yeah.
There's a deck builder I just realized I totally forgot about, and I was looking at my board game geek collection to see things I own and what things I've had in the past that could be considered deck builders to bring up. I really want to play Millennium Blades. If we want to talk about like deck
Okay, right.
builders, that game is it's a CCG simulator. So the whole game is you get booster packs to build your deck to go compete in tournaments, and you can make a binder to trade cards off in your binder for points. And it's also real time because every round is 15 minutes. So you have 15 minutes to trade, you have 15 minutes to deck build, and then you have a tournament, and you do that 3 or 4 times and the game's over. And I really want to play that because if you want to talk about like deck builders, it's based off of buying cards as a kid, and I feel like that would just immediately appeal to me because I grew up as a TCG kid, and we need
There is like a actual deck builder that has been on my wish list for a really long time, and I just forget the name of it now. It's like a circus.
It's circus. Is it circus themed?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. Some deck builder.
I honestly
My-
would like to find it, but I don't want to get
Millennium
rid of
Blades
it.
is kind of old, isn't it? Well,
I have it. That's the one that Max drove me up north to pick up in the burbs. That I traded Gugong off for.
Millennium Blades.
You got rid of Gugong? How dare you?
Right, that's what I said.
Oh,
But-
love that.
But
But
he
I got
doesn't.
the whole new Millennium Blades Kickstarter though for it, and I don't need it because Ryan has it. So I'll just play Ryan
I
style.
know, I'm just starting not to trust you now.
Oh no!
You got rid of Gugong, you got rid of Lisboa.
Wait,
I'm
but,
gonna
but
get
to be
Lisboa back.
But to be fair, he wants the deluxe version of Lisboa.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about that. Yeah, I get that. Understandable. Another really great deck builder is Coco.
Oh god,
One of
Rokoko's
Keegan's.
so good. That's the first
Coco
game.
is so good.
That's the first game Kelly and I played online together.
We did. We played it virtually.
The
We did.
virtual play.
Yep, you, me, and Justin. That game's so fucking good. I love Rokoko so much.
It's so good. We finally broke out the jewelry expansion.
What'd you think of it?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. I still
Yeah,
get
so-
great with it.
we're like, we're not going to deal with the top of the board getting the cards out.
Yeah.
I forget what those are. The tradesmen.
Yep.
And then we actually started doing it, and we're like, "Oh, this is a good way to get higher powered cards without buying them."
Because you can upgrade your employees, right? Is that the whole
Yeah,
point
you
of it?
swap them out. You'll swap
So-
out like a journeyman for a master. And I'm
For-
like, "All right, sold." And the way you do it is because you move up on that track for things you're already doing in the game. It's not like you're hunting tasks down. You're already doing them.
Mhm.
So for Kirby's sake, do you want to explain what Rococo is?
Oh, so Rococo? Oh, and it's so beautiful. It's an Eagle Griffin game. So it's beautiful.
It's pretty. Bad insert, but pretty game.
Oh yeah, I'm obsessed with Eagle Griffin games. Like I really am. So Rococo is you are a seamstress, and you are hosting the gowns and tuxes for what is it, Henry V's
Mm-hmm.
last gala. So the
Cool.
board is a gala. It's his hall, and it's broken up into all these different like dancing sections, and then their kitchen, and it's great. And at the very top is a firework display. It's beautiful.
It sounds fantastic. Like
it is.
I don't even need to know more.
Yeah.
It's a table eater, though. It's a
Yes. Basically,
Is it?
you're making dresses,
big. Yeah.
and you're trying to like put them on the people.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
either can rent
Awesome.
them to the patrons or you can sell them to get cash. So it's very fine line balance because you need money to put out these dresses. So
Sure.
But we play it, what, over 4 rounds? 6 rounds?
Six or 7 rounds.
It goes so quick.
It goes really fast.
So quick.
It is just a perfect midweight Euro game. Like everything about it, like, and it gives you, like, I think that game is also a really good like introduction to board games for people in general, because it gives you a little taste of deck building. It gives you a little taste of like management, like with your resources. It gives you a taste of area control because you want to get majority
and
from the
it's not
halls.
hard.
It's not hard.
It really isn't hard.
Yeah, I
It
think
sounds like we have to play this game.
I was about to say maybe our next 4-player game night, because Max hasn't played it yet either.
No.
And we should
So
just do
we
a 4-player game of
absolutely have to
Rococo.
play this game. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a great game.
We
But that
we
is a
won't be
deck
able to do
builder.
it Tuesday, but
That is a deck builder because you have to draw from a deck, and any guys that you buy go on top. If you play with the jewelry expansion, they actually come into your hand, which is nice because then you get an extra
That's nice.
turn in that round.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that game's great. I didn't think about bringing up Rococo. That's awesome.
every time I think you say like Rococo comes up, I automatically also think of Aqua Mirabilis. Just like it just feels like it's just like almost feels like it's all can be within that universe. It's just like one person, that one game's just making dresses, the other one you're making perfume for them.
I mean, there's like those people online that do like the weird board game hybrid things where they like try to combine 2 games together with rules. I wonder if you could figure out a way to combine Rococo and Aqua Mirabilis together
That'd
to
be
make
crazy.
like fully getting ready for the party.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I am just so stuck on Rococo right now because to Keegan's point, it is a great entry level game for people that want to almost step it up a little bit, because it isn't a hard game, but it does introduce all those elements that maybe someone hasn't gotten a taste to yet. So it's great for like newer gamers, but it is also great for like more experienced gamers because we're sitting here like oogling what we can do.
Yep.
Right? There is that taste there that just brings you back to play it again and again and again and again and again.
That game's like borderline perfect. I think
Yeah,
it's
I agree. And Justin actually would agree with you too, because, and it's funny he's not down here right now because he would pop in and be like, because I don't think I've ever told you guys this. When that game first came in, he goes, because he's so about themes. If it's not an appealing theme to him, he won't play it. So he's like, a game where I'm a seamstress? Really? I'm like, let's just play it. Let's see what you think. He loves that game. He loves it.
And when the 3 of us were playing, it was fun because like we all had a few drinks in us too, so we were also getting kind of sassy with each other.
We were great.
Like Justin, like, so Keaton, you took that last orange thread, right? I was like, yeah, and he's like, oh, you fucking cool, aren't you?
Who when we first played, it was was it you, Isam, and me?
Rococo, yeah, he's using these. That game's great.
You kicked our ass because you knew all about the different people that just we got completely fucked. Because you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep taking this person and this person, and I'm just gonna have these powers and.
I will bring up one more game that I wanted to talk about, and it's gonna be Arkham. But I'm not just doing it because I want to gush about it. But I think it's different than every other game we've talked about so far. In that,
We got 10 minutes. Go.
I think Arkham is great if you want to find a deck building game that you could like co-op, because it's a co-op game, and then a game that can borderline be, if you're a person that loves campaign style games, like if you're a Gloomhaven fan or Seventh Continent or Tainted Grail, you want something that's storytelling based. I think Arkham is a perfect game to jump into for that, because you're making, like, you play 8 parts of a story and you pick a character that becomes who you are for the entire campaign, and you customize the deck, and between every scenario you get to customize your deck again and upgrade cards and swap cards out, and like even the scenarios are like, you found this person scared out of their fucking mind, put them in your deck. And then you have this dude in your deck, and you're like, I don't want anything bad to happen to him because I saved him. And you're trying to protect him the whole game. And you're like, then you draw him, like, oh god, do I play him? He's gonna get killed. Like, it's
Oh my gosh.
you just start getting attached to your character and like the things that happen, and all the characters have really fun backstories and themes and stuff. I think if you've been on the fence about trying an LCG out, a living card game, I think Arkham is a good LCG to get into. I also highly suggest waiting to get into it though until later this year, because they are doing a reissue of the core set. Because if you really want to play to its capacity, you have to buy 2 copies of the core set. But the new reissue they're doing, it's cheaper than buying 2 copies, and it comes with as many cards as 2 copies would have. And right now, the whole cycle for the games are you get the deluxe box, and then they release 6 Mythos packs over the course of 6 months, where they do 1 a month. But the new cycle, Edge of the Earth, they're changing it entirely, and you only have to buy 2 things, and then you're done. You buy a whole box that's just investigators and investigator cards, which gives you 250 cards to deck build with.
Wow.
And then the other box is all the scenarios, and that's all you have to buy instead of having to buy 8 things.
What are you gonna do, Keegan? Are you gonna upgrade?
I'm gonna probably buy a second core set, even though I think the reissue of the core set is exactly what I have now. But there are some cards I wish I had 8 copies of instead of just 4 copies of.
Yeah, fair.
I'm probably gonna get it. So if you are been on the fence with Arkham, wait until this later in this year, because I also heard through the grapevine or the rumor mill that they're also going to reissue every single previous cycle that's been released, and they're reissuing it as this new cycle. So instead of having to buy a deluxe box for Carcosa and 6 Carcosa packs, you can just buy an investigator box and a cycle box, and you're done. So just wait, because otherwise you have to spend $30 on a thing that normally costs $12 as a scalper, and don't do it.
Okay, fair enough.
But if you want a game that you can get like lifestyle-ish about, and a game you can play a lot and get like storytelling in, Arkham's perfect.
That is your most upgraded game?
That and Root, yeah, are my
That
2 most upgraded games now. I just spent $150 on my upgrades for it today, so. But yeah, I love that game. That's probably my favorite deck builder right now then too.
You have you created our decks yet? Our characters that we picked?
I have 2 done. I'm working on 2 tonight. So in 2 weeks we can play Arkham as my birthday game of choice.
Oh, yay.
It's either that or Feudum, but I'm really just wanting to play Arkham, so.
Oh, we haven't played Feudum in so long though.
I know, I really want to play it again.
Oh.
I guess while we're wrapping up, because we have about like 5-ish minutes left, are there any other deck builders you can think of that are just like quick shout out games that would be worth people checking out? I think like Dominion's always just a classic if you want something really easy to start out with.
I was told to try that out because I like deck builders. I just didn't have many that I felt really gave the same satisfaction as Clank.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just getting a copy of Dominion. There's so many. It's so much.
It's a lot.
I forget, is Concordia a deck? Or is that just in your hand?
I think it's just hand management.
Okay.
No.
I didn't remember. We haven't played that in a while.
Yeah.
It's a great game still though. That game's awesome too.
No, it's great.
There's not actually thinking of it. There's not like a whole lot of deck builders.
Yeah, I think honestly all the games I mentioned are all the deck builders I have.
Mm-hmm. Thinking like Paladins is not a deck builder.
Red Rising is the deck builder.
No.
Fort.
Kind of. But,
I mean,
but do you draft?
You draft the people from your yard and put them into from the park and put them in your yard, and then you deck them technically with that game too, because you can lose them, kicking your friends out of your house.
But you have a deck from the very beginning, right? You just have a set of cards.
You start with 2 best friends, and then you get more.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's deck builder light.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Omen is a good 2-player one. Like we played.
Which one?
Omen, the 2-player Greek god one, where you either play that where you're both drawing from a mutual deck, or you can draft your decks to play that one too.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough.
Res Arcana, only if you draft your cards.
Yeah, if you draft.
Okay, so I played that one too. So I played a handful.
There,
of deck
see, there
builders.
you
I'm
go.
finding out.
Yeah. Like,
More
these
than
are,
more than you thought, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
it kind of just, so a lot of these are just kind of like light deck builder. I don't know, when someone says
But they
deck
still
builder,
count.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, my friends.
Yeah, that's all I can think of too right now, off the top of my head. If anyone listening, if you have any deck builders in mind that we didn't mention or ones that you really like, let us know, because we're always looking for more to play.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Or let us know. Just let us know your favorites, even when we mention it. Let us know why you like that certain game so much. Gush about it as much as we did for Rococo.
Or Keegan did for Arkham. Go ahead.
Did something else?
No, I was just gonna ask Kirby, because I know she's getting new into this hobby. What has been, this is outside of deck building, just what has been your top 2 favorites so far of what we've been playing?
Ooh, okay. Well, I
Super.
actually, I don't know if I can get to 2, but I did really like Heroes and Villains. So the fact that we're talking about deck builders is kind of
Okay.
appropriate, because I think that game was absolutely fantastic, and I'd like to play it, but like make my own deck. I'm really intrigued. Oh man, I probably really liked Ginkopolis the other night.
Okay.
That's a really fun one, and I want to play it again because I didn't do very well. But I think like I was getting into it, so I'm ready to play it again, and this time make some strides. One on my radar though, I really want to play Isle of Cats. I keep hearing about it, and that's a big one.
It's a great game.
Yep, I really want to play it.
Yep,
It's very good.
I have the Kickstarter, the big Kickstarter to do all of it, the base and the new expansion.
Oh, Save the
ends-
Kittens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it ends in 7 days, but like, oh god, my condo closing is here in this next week, and I'm just like, oh god, fees just like keep adding up that I just didn't know about. They're just like, oh yeah, you have to pay this too now. Buying a condo has been a fucking nightmare.
You can always just get it at Gaming Goat later on in the year
Yeah.
when they get it in, because they'll have it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can definitely play Isle of Cats. Max and I both have it, so that's an easy. Or we can also just do a virtual game night with Kelly. We can all play it together.
Oh yeah.
Should be fun.
I love
Uh,
virtual game.
Yeah, that'd be great. We should do another one soon. I guess also we didn't bring these up, but if you have any bag builder games that you like, too, let us know. Because technically, bag builders could be considered deck building, because you pick what goes in your bag and you're drawing things at random, hoping to get things that you got. So the
Quacks.
RNG manipulation. Somewhat
I was just gonna say, Quacks. That
Quacks.
game's great.
Quacks, Orleone, Altiplano, some other
Yeah.
ones there too. Cool. Well, that is going to be it for our deck builder conversation. Kelly, thank you again for joining us. You're one of our favorite people. Definitely give her a follow on her Instagram page, like Geek Sheet Gamer. Kelly, have anything coming up that you want to talk about? Anything we should be looking out for?
I have a couple things in the works that you guys will be excited for. Namely, just the thing I started recently with my board game challenge. We'll be doing something with that. I started it because I really want to just throw some light on game board designers. We're always about the publishers, and I don't feel like the designers get their due. And for me, the board is what brings me back to play a game. So that's what I'm working towards with that.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
But I have some collaborations coming down the pipe. I have some partnerships coming down the pipe.
Dang.
I'm excited to share all those with you guys, but I can't spill the beans yet.
Okay, you
Or-
influencer.
Yeah, now you just got us all excited. Really looking
I
forward to
can't
that.
I can't say that until someone lets me edit their rule books, because God, rule book.
Yes, please make sure they always just say the player or something. Don't let them do he, she. That's my thing. But
Fair.
Yeah.
and
Gender neutral, please.
and we're sad that we're gonna miss you at Gen Con this year. I was excited for you to come join and
I'm
actually
still
meet you.
trying. Tickets are still available. You guys will be the first to know if we go.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
I know, yeah. Because we're gonna be gaming every night with Bailey, and we're just like, we're gonna be missing you. We need you there.
I'm trying.
Great.
Awesome.
All right, guys, it was so fun talking again. And Kirby, it was so nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you too.
Everyone get used to Kirby. You'll be seeing her a lot more often now, too. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. We will be back next week with another perspective. Let us know any games that we should be on the eye out for, and let us know what your favorite games are right now. And we will be talking with you all very soon. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.